The topic for the day is redistribution with the OSPF protocol. So we have the three protocols for the redistribution. First one is OSPF, two EIGRP redistribution that is pending. Second one is what? Second one is OSPF 2 routing information protocol redistribution. So let's start with the OSPF and EIGRP redistribution. Then we will cover up the second one, OSPF routing information protocol redistribution. So let me open the GNS3 app for the same and create a topology on which we will have the multiple routers connected with the protocol. We'll be advertising different protocols. Okay, so let us assume we have three different routers over here: router 1, router 2, and router 3, right? And they are connected via cables just like this: FA0/0, FA1/0, FA1/0. Okay, dear. And on these, let's provide the network information in between them. The network available is 192.168.10.0 and 192.168.11.0, right? And the IP address in between them is 192.168.10.1, 10.1, and this is 192.168.10.2. Okay. Next, we have 192.168.11.1 and 192.168.11.2. So these IP addresses are available. Okay. Let us create some loopback interface to check the connectivity. That is 192.168.12.1/24. Okay, this loopback is available on router number 3. Okay. And on this side, we have 192.168.13.1/24. This is another loopback interface 13.1/24. So first of all, we are going to configure the OSPF in between these two, OSPF here on this side, and on other side we are going to discuss about the EIGRP, that how these protocols forward the data to each other. Okay, what are the configuration in between them? Okay, what are the necessary factor to do the redistribution here? So let's start with router number 1, providing the IP address. Yeah, here we got the console access, router number 2 and router number 3. Okay, let's start with the router number 1, configuring terminal. Okay, so interface loopback 1, IP address is 192.168.13.1 and 255.255.255.0. Okay, next is interface F. Which one is this? Let me cross check. Click on view. So interface F0/0, no shutdown. IP address is 192.168.10.1 and 255.255.255.0. Let's move forward to the router number 2. And on router number 2, the IP address available are configuring terminal. So interface F0/0, no shutdown. IP address is 192.168.10.2 and 255.255.255.0, right? We have another interface, that is interface F1/0, no shutdown. IP address is what? 192.168.11.1 and 255.255.255.0. And on router number 3, we have two interfaces. One is loopback interface and one is fast Ethernet configuring terminal. So interface F1/0, no shutdown. IP address is 192.168.11.1 12.1 and 255.255.255.0. Okay. Next interface is interface loopback 1. IP address is 192.168.12.1 and 255 sorry, this is 12.1 dot and 255.255.255 dot. Mm, that is 11.2, I think, on upper side. Let me change this IP address. This is 12.1. IP addresses. This one is 11.2. Okay. Okay. Then interface loopback 1. IP address will be 192.168.12.1 and 255.255. So we have just provided the IP address. Now any confusion here? Okay. Any confusion here till now? So let's move forward to the router number 1. Okay. So router OSPF 1 network is what? 192.168.13.1 and 255.255.255.0. Okay. Sorry, 13.0 and 0.0.0.255 area 0. Okay. And we have one more network 192.168.10.0 that has to be advertised over here. Let's go to router number 2 and advertise both of these networks. Okay. So router OSPF 1 network 192.168.10.0 0.0.0.255 area will be 0. Okay. Now let's configure the EIGRP on routes. Right side router EIGRP1 network 192.168.11.0 and 0.0.0.255 area. So we can directly configure that 192.168.11.0. Okay. So we have just advertised EIGRP1 on right side. That is AS number belong to 1. Okay. And we have also configured the OSPF on this side. So let's go to router number 3. Okay. So router EIGRP 1 network is what? 192.168.11.0. Whenever I will advertise the network, so it will get the neighborship within some few seconds. Okay. And advertising other network 192.168.12.0. So it will take some seconds to boot up. Okay, dear. Now, whenever I will try to forward the data from R1 to R3, it will not be forwarded, right? Let's go to router number 1 and try to forward the packet. So, mm, ping 192.168.12.1. So it will say no, we cannot forward the data. So let's go to router number 2 and try to forward the data. Exit. Okay. So ping 192.168.12.1. Okay. So if I will try to ping that, so that is pinging from router number 2, and router number 2 can also ping 192.168.13.1. That can also be pinged, right? So that is means router 2 could able to forward the data on right side, right? And router 2 can able to forward the data on this side, right? But here we have to do the redistribution. So in redistribution, let's go to router number 2 and go to global configuration mode. So router OSPF 1 redistribute EIGRP 1 subnets. Okay. So that will advertise the OSPF and EIGRP in OSPF. But here in case of EIGRP, when you are going to redistribute the EIGRP and OSPF, so there are some factors that has to be calculated, that has to be found before that. Okay. What are these factors? So let's go to router number 2 and find these factors. Okay. So first of all, you have to find the metric values of EIGRP. How to find the metric value of EIGRP? So show IP, EIGRP, topology, and provide the network that you want to find. Okay, the network is 192.168.11.0. So it will give you all the information about the 11.0, 192.168.11.0. So let's note down the value that will be needed. So basically, we have to provide the metric value to the OSPF when redistribute the EIGRP and OSPF. Or EIGRP when will be redistributed with other protocol, we have to provide the information of what? The EIGRP in that scenario, right? The metric values must be provided in that case. So what are the metric values here? So go to global configuration mode. Okay. But before that, let me note down all the metric values that has to be provided. First of all, bandwidth. What? So the bandwidth will be 10,000. Okay. Second factor is what? Delay. Delay is 100 microsecond. Okay. So we have to mention all this. The delay is 100 microsecond. Third one is what? Reliability is full. 255 out of 255. So reliability, that must be, reliability must be 255. Next one is what? Load. Okay. Load. Load is 1, as we have seen. And what about the MTU size? So MTU size will be 1500, right? MTU size is 1500. Okay, so this here we got all the values of matrices that has to be provided. So now let's move forward to R2 and router EIGRP1. Okay, redistribute OSPF 1. Now you have to provide the metric values to the OSPF. In that metric values, the sequence will be just like this. First of all, you have to provide the bandwidth. What? Metric. Metric. In metric, first of all, you have to provide the bandwidth. What is the bandwidth over here? So bandwidth is 10,000. Okay. Secondary, you have to provide the delay in the number. So delay is 100. Third one, it needed the reliability. So reliability is 255. Okay. Now it is asking what about the effective bandwidth or load? What about the load? So load is what? 1. And in the end, the last value will be what? MTU size. So MTU size is 1500 by default. Okay, dear. So we have just provided all the values in between the redistribution of OSPF and EIGRP. Now let me try to ping that. So when I will put ping command, previously I was not getting any response, but for now I'm getting the response, right? So this is how the two protocol interacts with each other. Now any confusion, dear? So this is how we can do the redistribution between these two protocols. Okay, dear. Now next one is what? Next one is what? Go to global configuration mode here, dear. And we are going to first of all we are going to delete the previous configuration on R2. So let's move to R2 now. Yes, I want to close the session, but before that, let's go to R1 and put a command to show IP route. So you will find that the two external networks are available here. That is 192.168.10.2. That is coming from 11.0 and 12.0, right? Now let me delete this configuration on R2. So no router EIGRP1, okay, and no router OSPF1. Okay, I'm going to delete this configuration. So adjacency will be down, right? Now let's go to router number 3 and also delete the configuration. No router EIGRP1. So it will delete the neighborship, right? Terminate the session. Let me check to show IP, EIGRP, topology. So there is nothing like this. Okay. Or to show IP protocols. There's nothing like protocols over here. No protocol is configured on R2. No protocol is available on R3, right? So now let's go to router number 2, and first of all advertise this network with the routing information protocol. Okay. So here we are going to configure the routing information protocol. Now we have seen the EIGRP. This time is to configure the routing information protocol. Okay, dear. So let's go to router number 2. So router RIP, okay, router RIP version 2, okay, then advertise the network. That is 192.168.11.0. Clear? We have just advertised the network. Clear? Now let's move towards the R3. Let me put exit. Let's go to router number 3 and advertise the network. Okay. Router routing information protocol. Okay. And version 2, then advertise the network 192.168.11.0 and 192.168.12.0. Okay. So let me try to ping from R2 to R3 loopback. Will it ping or not? So we have to put exit here and ping 192.168.12.1. That is pinging perfectly. That is means the protocol is working. Show IP protocols. So here you will find that the two protocol is running, the RIP is running and OSPF is running over here on the same way, right? Now we have to advertise this site to OSPF also, as we have deleted the configuration. So go to global configuration mode. Here router OSPF 1 network is 192.168.10.0, 0.0.0.255. Area will be 0 again. So it will form the neighborship. Now we got the neighborship message. Now let me put a command show IP protocols. So you will find that the two protocols are working over here. First one is routing information protocol. Okay. Second one is OSPF, right? And we have advertised all the networks, and we can see that R2 is pinging to 192.168.13.1. Clear? So they are pinging perfectly. Now, the problem is that will R1 can able to forward the data to R3? No, R1 cannot able to forward the data to R3 because we didn't have configured the redistribution redistribution over here. So let's do the redistribution process on R2. So dear, first of all, go to global configuration mode, okay, router OSPF1, okay, and redistribute EIGR, redistribute routing information protocol, right? Redistribute routing information protocol and subnets. That's it. So that is sufficient for the same. Okay. Now, whenever you are going to do the configuration of routing information protocol, as we already know that routing information protocol works on the behalf of what number of hop counts, right? So how many hop counts are there? That is one, according to the OSPF, and second one in on this side. So two hop count we do have, and after that we have to provide the metric value in case of routing information protocol also. So let's go to router number 2. So router RIP, okay, version 2, okay, version 2, redistribute OSPF 1, okay. Now you have to provide the metric value, metric. Now it is asking that what are the default metric you want to have. So what you want to have the default metric? So I will put 2 here because there are 2 hop count available on this side. That's it. metric 2. Let's see what it will be needed. Okay, then provide a command match. Okay, for match for which one, dear? Match for external. Okay, so this command will be used. Now let's move forward. Are they forwarding data or not? So let's go to router number 1 and put a command. Okay, ping 192.168.12.1. So they are pinging perfectly. Now any confusion with the redistribution, dear? In between OSPF, in between routing information protocol?